The draft of the new Polaris contract is on the street from the General Services Administration. The role of GSA in federal procurement could change under the next administration. Angela Stiles is partner at Akin Gump. She's a member of the Public Buildings Reform Board and former administrator of federal procurement policy. Angela, welcome. It's good to see you again. This collaboration between GSA and the Defense Department has been much more pronounced over the last 3 or 4 years. What do you think needs to happen to keep that going, to keep that relationship tight and functioning highly?
You got to have good political leadership that really understands how important it is for DoD and GSA to work together on procurement policy issues.
How does that manifest itself? What are the kind of the building blocks that both a new GSA administrator and leadership at the Pentagon will undertake?
Well, I think what we saw in this administration is a strong GSA leader that had a strong background as a government contracts lawyer and understood many of the things that needed to happen in federal procurement. And then you had leaders over at the Department of Defense that understood the importance of procurement, because historically the Department of Defense has really driven procurement policy. I mean, you've had the Office of Federal Procurement Policy in there at times driving it, but GSA has played a secondary role. But now with GSA really having such strong leadership and such good relationships with the Department of Defense and with OMB and the Office of Federal Procurement Policy, it really has been an excellent change for federal procurement, both in terms of transparency, contract vehicles, openness, and leadership.
What does your former job at OFPP look like in that mix, in that collaboration structure among all of these organizations?
Well, unfortunately, this administration has not been very focused on OFPP, and it hasn't had particularly strong political leadership. There's excellent leadership in the career civil servants that are there, but they can only manage. They can't really lead in the same way that a political appointee that's well connected at OMB and well connected at the White House and well connected at the Department of Defense or the Department of Homeland Security can really move policies forward. So, what you look for is, does this new administration focus early on OFPP and GSA? Traditionally, they're appointed around the same time. They usually have confirmation hearings around June. So if you see those two moving together, then I think it's probably a good sign for federal procurement that they're going to have strong leadership in both places. I mean, I think if you do, then you can really have some necessary changes made to the system.
One of the challenges that the vendor base that serves the Defense Department is looking at is cybersecurity requirements. We've talked in this program about CMMC 1,000 times, if we've talked about it once. There is a new basic cyber assessment at the department. What do we know about that now, Angela?
Well, the Department of Defense finally realized that there's a lot of prime contractors and subcontractors out there that weren't following the requirements to actually perform a basic cyber assessment. And so they really are giving them some leeway for a period of time leading up to CMMC. At the end of the day, CMMC doesn't affect that many contractors, but of the vast majority of contractors will receive controlled unclassified information and will have to have some level of cybersecurity requirements in place. And so the Department of Defense put together this requirement for a basic assessment using the NIST standards, putting forward a methodology, coming up with a score, and requiring any prime or subcontractor to put that score into the DoD system. Doesn't matter what your score is. There's lots of negative scores out there, but they said, you know what, everybody, it's time to actually get started on this, figure out where you are, and then take steps to improve. It's really been a nice approach from the Department of Defense, recognizing the need to, push the industry forward without making it detrimental or too hard for industry or punitive.
And is that where a lot of the companies, though, that are struggling with it are struggling with it because they're having a hard time buying the fact that the Pentagon is not going to use it against them, that it's not punitive? Or is there some other reason that companies are having a hard time with this?
Well, a lot of them realize that they were required to before, and so they've had to come in and quickly do an assessment because the rules just came out in late November and get their score in, or they will not be awarded contracts where there's a prime or a subcontractor where the Department of Defense is going to provide controlled and classified information. And so it literally was hey, you're not going to get any new contracts. And everybody suddenly realized that and had to go back and perform this assessment and put their score in and then start working on their cybersecurity measures.
What should companies pay attention to in the coming weeks, months, et cetera, to make sure that they're on track?
Well, I would certainly say keep an eye on what the Department of Defense does next. So is it going to be criteria for the award of a contract? Are you going to have a particular score coming forward? Really push to get the first assessment done, figure out where you have gaps, and move to fill those gaps. I think as we saw with solar wind, it is critically important to fill those gaps both within the government and outside the government with the contractors, and everybody realizes that now.
Angela Stiles, thanks very much. It's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.